Here's more wrestling news for February 4th, 2023. And at last Saturday's Royal Rumble, Edge returned in the Men's Royal Rumble and didn't waste time taking out the Judgment Day. It had been Finn Balor and his cronies who had put Edge on the shelf at Extreme Rules last October, and given that he wasn't announced for the show, Edge's return was a huge moment for fans. While Edge was a welcome sight in the Rumble, that nearly didn't happen, as Wade Keller of PW Torch reports that at one point, WWE discussed Edge versus Balor inside Hell in a Cell. Not only that, but this would have been Brood Edge and the Demon Finn Balor in what would have been Finn's first time donning the alter ego in over a year, and his first time as the Demon since turning heel. Unfortunately, Edge's return to Hell didn't happen as he was too busy filming Percy Jackson and the Olympian, a Disney Plus series where he will play Ares, the Greek god of war. With Triple H reportedly scrapping the Hell in a Cell event because he wants the structure to mean something again, WWE didn't like the idea of this match happening without Edge appearing in the build-up, so it was probably for the best that these plans were scrapped. Edge eliminated the Judgment Day, but they eventually returned to eliminate him in kind, so while the Cell match may still happen, it wasn't meant to be at the Royal Rumble. Last Saturday, WWE held their 6th Women's Royal Rumble match, but there were more than 30 women hoping to earn a title match at WrestleMania. In the Wrestling Observer, it's noted that WWE brought in some alternates in case a woman had to pull out of the match, including Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. It was added that Nile was a late cut, implying that she was scheduled to be in the match until shortly before the match, but now the Diamond Mine member will have to wait until next year's Women's Rumble match. Now, WrestleMania 39 is just 56 days away, and the card for the biggest 2 nights on WWE's roster is coming together. One name who is expected to compete is John Cena, but there's been conflicting reports over who he'll face in Los Angeles. Well, thanks to the Observer, we have our answer, as in the latest report, it's been confirmed that Cena will take on Austin Theory in a matter of weeks. For WrestleMania, the locked-in matches at this point are Reigns vs. Rhodes for the Universal title, Charlotte vs. Ripley for the SmackDown Women's title, Belair vs. the Chamber winner for the Raw Women's title, John Cena vs. Austin Theory. No word on whether this will or will not be a US title match. It was added that Cena has filmed a backstage angle with Theory that is yet to air, though it is believed that John won't be around for the build to the match, as he's currently in Australia filming the movie Ricky Stenicki with Zac Efron. At one point, it was believed that Cena would be facing Logan Paul, but the Maverick is seemingly going to be facing Seth Rollins at Mania, and time will tell whether the reigning US champion can get what would be the biggest win of his career over Cena at WrestleMania. More from the Rumble as Nia Jax made her WWE return as the number 30 entrant in the Women's Rumble match over a year after her shocking release. Jax has not wrestled since being cut in November 2021, which made her return this year all the more surprising. During a Sign It live stream, Jax was asked if she knew a month in advance about her Rumble appearance and said she did not, adding that it was so last minute that she didn't even have her gear ready, saying it was quickly rushed. Nia had turned down wrestling in the Women's Rumble last year and has previously said it's unlikely she'd wrestle again, but while she's still listed as alumni on WWE.com, perhaps we could see more of the Irresistible Force. It's been less than a month since the tragic car accident ended the life of Jay Briscoe and severely injured his daughters who were in the vehicle at the time. Jaylee, age 9, and Grace, age 12, were both admitted to hospital after the crash and underwent vital surgery, and there's been an update on the girls. In a Facebook post, Josh Wharton, a family friend and the person who set up the fundraiser to help the girls and Jay's widow Ashley, gave some much-needed good news, saying in a video, "JJ, Briscoe's 9-year-old daughter, was officially released from the hospital yesterday and is back home. She will have to wear her neck and back brace for 4 more weeks, at which point she will then return to the hospital to have her back brace surgically removed. She will obviously need continued physical therapy as she recovers, but she was able to return home last night." Gracie, Briscoe's 12-year-old daughter, will be moved to the rehab floor of the hospital so that she can focus more on physical therapy towards regaining use of her legs below the knee. She has feeling in her legs, but is still unable to move them below the knees. She noted to her sister that her leg, which has felt as if it's ringing non-stop, felt normal last night. The fact that Jaylee is able to rest at home is a huge step forward, and Gracie is making significant improvements in regaining her mobility. Jaylee, Gracie, and Ashley Pugh have undergone some of the worst days of their lives over the past month, and our thoughts continue to be with them, Wharton, and those who knew Jay Briscoe at this time. Over to AEW as Keith Lee made quite the impact when he arrived following his WWE release, but hasn't been seen in some time. The last time Lee wrestled was at ROH Final Battle, with his last AEW match being at Full Gear in November 2022, so where exactly has he been? Fortunately, Lee's absence isn't down to any injury, but he is deliberately being kept off of TV as part of his story with Swerve Strickland. Lee's former tag team partner hit Lee with the cinder block in the Limitless One's most recent AEW appearance, and AEW is biding its time before he returns to get his revenge. AEW has been known to write talent off TV to build up the return and add more weight to the revenge, and only time will tell how fans react to the Limitless One's eventual return. In the run-up to the Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins spoke to Wrestling Inc.'s Nick Hausman and made his feelings clear about CM Punk. Ironically, Hausman was one of the people Punk targeted in his all-out media scrum tirade, and in his interview, Rollins called Punk a cancer and told him to stay away from WWE. Wrestling fans weren't the only ones interested in what Rollins had to say, as during the latest Extreme Life podcast, Matt Hardy said he was won over by Rollins' comments. "He especially won me over because of his comments on Punk the other day. I popped huge when I saw that. I was laughing out loud. Very funny stuff." This isn't the first time Matt's weighed in on the CM Punk situation, as following All Out, Hardy shared his support for the Elite, saying he saw the situation between them and Punk play out for months despite not being present at the infamous September event. While Matt has praised Punk as an excellent wrestler, he's also acknowledged that he is a very divisive individual, and it remains to be seen if Punk ever wrestles for AEW, or wrestles at all, again. At WrestleMania 29 in 2013, a tag team match pitting the Rhodes Scholars and Tons of Funk was scrapped as The Undertaker's match with CM Punk went overtime. We can't imagine how disappointing it must have been to have your WrestleMania match canceled, and Brodus Clay had an interesting reaction. Speaking to Wrestling News, Damian Sandow said that they were told minutes before the match, and that when Vince McMahon told them, Brodus just laughed and walked out of the arena. Unfortunately for Brodus, when he had cooled off and tried to re-enter MetLife Stadium, a worker at the arena asked for his ticket, something he, of course, didn't have. We're not sure why the ticket employee didn't think that the 300-plus man wearing bright lycra was anything other than a wrestler at the show, but the future NWA World Champion did not have a great time at WrestleMania 29. And we're ending with some surgery news, as a notable name from the world of professional wrestling has gone under the knife. On Twitter, Mike Kanellis Bennett informed fans that Maria has undergone thyroid surgery, saying that they will tackle this like a family. In addition to Maria, Bruce Pritchard revealed on his Something to Wrestle With podcast that he will be having shoulder surgery, but it will have to wait until after April and WrestleMania 39. Pritchard is having surgery on his left shoulder after previously having had surgery on the right, and we're wishing him and Maria the best at this time.